Imagine a skyscraper so immense, so ambitious, it was meant to stand as the tallest hotel on the planet, a shimmering pyramid poised to crown the skyline of Pyongyang, North Korea. Yet, despite towering 330 meters and looming over the city like a monument of power and prestige, the Ryugyong Hotel has stood silent and empty for more than 3 decades. Not a single guest has ever set foot inside. This is the story of a $750 million luxury tower frozen in time, a colossal dream that became a ghost. Today we unravel the mystery behind the world's most extravagant unfinished hotel and why it remains one of the greatest architectural enigmas of our era. If stories like this intrigue you, tales where luxury, history and mystery collide, be sure to subscribe and join us on more incredible journeys. The story begins in the shadow of the Cold War during the late 1980s. North Korea, isolated yet fiercely proud, was grappling with a challenge to its dignity. Just across the border, South Korea was experiencing an economic renaissance, culminating in its preparation to host the 1988 Summer Olympics, a moment of global attention and prestige. For the regime in Pyongyang, this was unacceptable. They could not afford to be overshadowed. And so the leadership devised a plan, not just to compete, but to dominate the skyline. The result was the conception of the Ryugyong Hotel, a massive angular tower that would pierce the heavens and project North Korea's might and modernity for the world to see. The building was designed to resemble a grand, symmetrical pyramid with 3 sloping wings that met at a sharp point high above the city. At its peak, the plan called for 5 revolving restaurants offering panoramic views of the capital. Inside, thousands of luxurious rooms would accommodate foreign investors, diplomats, and guests from every corner of the globe. The sheer scale of the project was staggering. The estimated price tag soared to $750 million, nearly 2% of the country's entire GDP at the time. Yet, despite the cost, construction surged ahead. Tower cranes spun through the sky, concrete soared upward in determined layers. North Korea was not just building a hotel, it was building a monument. But just as quickly as the Ryugyong rose into the smoggy Pyongyang sky, it stopped. By 1992, the structure had reached its full, astonishing height. 105 stories piercing the clouds, 330 meters of raw concrete clawing above every rooftop in the city. From a distance, it looked nearly complete. But up close, it was clear, and this was no functioning luxury hotel. It was a ghost tower. There were no windows, no doors, no elevators, lights, or plumbing, only a skeleton, towering, lifeless. So, what happened? The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991 sent shockwaves through every corner of the communist world, and few places were hit harder than North Korea. For decades, Moscow had been Pyongyang's economic lifeline, supplying raw materials, fuel, technical aid, and diplomatic cover. But with the USSR gone, so too were the funds and support that the Ryugyong so desperately relied on. The building site fell silent. Construction stopped overnight, with no announcement, no explanation, just silence. The cranes froze. The workers vanished. The Ryugyong became a towering embarrassment, a monument to a regime that had overreached in the name of pride. Too expensive to finish, too large to demolish, and too prominent to ignore, so they tried to erase it. Maps of Pyongyang excluded the tower. No photos of the skyline showed it. State TV never mentioned it. The Ryugyong became North Korea's invisible pyramid, hiding in plain sight. A symbol of ambition the regime couldn't bear to acknowledge. And yet, it remained, watching over the city like a haunted relic. For 16 long years, the Ryugyong remained untouched. But in 2008, a strange shimmer appeared on the horizon, hope wrapped in telecom signals and foreign investment. Orascom, an Egyptian telecommunications giant, entered into an unusual agreement with the North Korean government. In exchange for building a national mobile network, Orascom would revamp the facade of the Ryugyong. And suddenly cranes returned. Glass panels began to glisten on its outer walls. Concrete was slowly cloaked in sleek blue-green mirrored glass. By 2011, the Ryugyong Hotel no longer looked like an abandoned ruin. It looked like the future. From a distance, it gleamed with a modern promise. International media began speculating, could this be the moment the Ryugyong finally opens its doors? But the truth was far more hollow. Behind the glass, the building remained utterly empty. No functioning rooms, no finished lobbies, no working elevators. It was a shell, shiny and silent. Then, in 2018, a second transformation unfolded. Massive LED screens were installed along one side of the building. Each night, the hotel came alive in light, and not with guests, but with government-produced animations, revolutionary slogans, and patriotic imagery beamed across the skyline. The Ryugyong had become the largest propaganda screen in the world, broadcasting ideology across Pyongyang's rooftops. It was a theatre of light, masking a cavern of darkness. Now, in 2025, the Ryugyong story continues, not with certainty, but with speculation. Whispers are emerging of a potential revival. Reports suggest the government is once again considering plans to convert parts of the building into a casino and luxury resort. The idea to attract controlled streams of foreign tourism and funnel hard currency into the regime, perhaps mimicking the model of the Ryugyong Hotel, which once hosted foreigners in a monitored, limited space. The plan is bold, but so are the challenges. International sanctions continue to block major foreign investment. The North Korean economy remains deeply fragile, and the hotel itself, after decades of exposure and decay, would require immense retrofitting to meet even the most basic safety standards. Could it happen? Yes. Will it happen? That remains a shadowy guess. The Ryugyong is more than a building, it's a symbol, and symbols are often preserved not for utility, but for what they represent. In this case, it represents a dream too costly to complete, but too proud to demolish. To many, the Ryugyong Hotel is just a bizarre structure in a secretive country, another curiosity of Cold War history. But to others, it's something deeper. It's a physical echo of ambition and isolation, a story where architecture becomes a mirror for politics, economics, and identity. It forces us to question the meaning of grandeur when it's detached from reality, when a skyscraper becomes a statue. For fans of luxury architecture and engineering feats, the Ryugyong is both inspiring and haunting. It's a marvel not because of what it is, but because of what it could have been and never was. In this 105-story giant, we find a paradox, a building too big to ignore, too broken to use, and too symbolic to abandon. So what do you think? Will the $750 million Ryugyong Hotel finally awaken from its slumber with real guests, real rooms, and a real purpose? Or will it continue standing tall and empty, a glass-covered ghost watching silently over Pyongyang? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey through mystery, concrete, and ambition, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We have many more astonishing megastructures to explore, because every building tells a story, and some never stop speaking.